everybody, every doctor, every patient, every receptionist, the woman next door waiting, everybody knows what I'm in here doing. So yesterday I had to go to the doctor's. I had a doctor's appointment and I want to share that story with you guys. Now I actually vlogged a little bit of this, but I couldn't film inside the doctor's office. I couldn't give you the POV that I really wanted to give to you guys. That probably would have been really weird. But I feel like I'll do a hell of a lot better if I just try to tell you the story. And I promise you, when I tell you this story about why I had to go to the doctor, what happened at the doctor's office, and everything related to that, I promise you, it's going to be a lot better me telling you this story. And as I get ready to tell you guys this, I got to think to myself, is what I'm getting ready to share with you guys probably TMI, too much information? It probably is. But you know what? I always keep it 100 with you guys, and I'm going to let you know what's going on. And I know there probably are some folks who are concerned. Maybe you heard about me talking about this doctor's appointment I had, whether it was on Twitch or Twitter. And I want to go ahead and put the concerns to bed. Look, I'm okay. It's not the ligma that I had this doctor's appointment. I've been waiting for an opportunity to be able to get a ligma joke off. I hope I nailed that right there. It wasn't for that. No. The reason that I had this doctor's appointment and what I had to go to this doctor's for is because I got to think about the best way that I could tell you this in a Disney Channel flow type of way to make sure that we're above board here and also be able to get you guys to be able to read between the lines. I had to go to the doctor's appointment because I had to go on a prison date so that they could take that prison date, that White Boy Olympics specimen, and then do a test on that to make sure that I'm okay. And I need to be completely serious about this. Trust me, this video is either going to make you cringe, make you just all sorts of emotions, or you're going to find this very entertaining. But this part right here, I need to keep this absolutely as serious as it gets. I'm married. Me and my wife were thinking about trying to buy a house. I'm not even going to kid you guys. We're not thinking about. We are actually trying to buy a house. And, with the fact that I'm married, with the fact that we're trying to have a family, a part of having a family is you got to have kids to have a family. And though I do consider Cody and Dave sort of like we're trying to have some kids, y'all. And we've been trying. If you can read between the lines of what I mean with that, it ain't for a lack of not trying. We're definitely trying. And we've been trying for a good little while now, months. And it just ain't been working out. Nothing's been happening. So with that, my wife went to the doctor's. She was on birth control and she went to the doctor. She wanted to make sure she was okay. And she went to the doctor's and guess what? She's okay. So when that happened, and that happened a couple of months ago, I immediately went into absolute panic mode. And you know what? Just getting ready to tell you guys this story. Look, it's legit. I'm sweating. Because this is going to be probably one of the most embarrassing, too much information stories that I've ever shared with you guys. But just bear with me. My wife went to the doctor's. She was okay, so when she went and she got that confirmation, it immediately made me feel like, oh my God, it's me. There's something wrong with me. I've either got the ligma or I'm broken. I don't know. I felt like a man apart. I felt like that Stone Temple Pilots song. I know you guys probably like Stone Temple Pilots. What is that? For the grown folks in here, you'll remember that band. They had a song. It was called "Half the Man I Used to Be." That's exactly what I was feeling like. I was feeling like something was really wrong with me, y'all. So I had to call a place that does the prison date test. They take that stuff and they do a test to see what's going on. And I want to start first with that phone call. Look, I had to Google this place, find out where there's a place that even does this. I find the place and I call them and I'm talking with the receptionist on the phone trying to schedule an appointment. And this was probably the most embarrassing phone call I've ever had to make in my life. I call this place and I'm like, hello, do you guys, God, it had to be a female to answer the phone. Do you guys, how can I word this? Do you guys do tests for guys? They provide the specimen in the cup. Like a prison, you never heard of a prison? Look, I need to come get a check up. I need you guys to run some diagnostic tests. I need you to put this car up on the lift. Needless to say, the phone call was not easy to make. I made the phone call. They told me they did the test. I scheduled an appointment. Let's just go ahead and get to that point. I scheduled the appointment, and then yesterday was the day I had to go for this appointment. I get to this place. I can't barely find the place. I got to go up an elevator. I get to where it's located at. I go inside. I'm filling out all of this paperwork, and It's a lot of paperwork, y'all. It's a ton of paperwork. It's probably 10 pages of paperwork. And the crazy damn thing about it is, the first page is like your name, your age, your birth date, what you do for a living. I told these people that I worked at McDonald's. I lied. Because there was no way I was going to tell these people what I do for a living and have them people like, you that guy from that crazy YouTube channel, is that you? You in here to do one of these tests? Oh my God! TMZ World Star! I mean, it probably wouldn't have been that dramatic because, we're pretty irrelevant. But I told them that I had an online store. I said, that's what I do for a living. I work at a computer. But as soon as you get past that first page, the next page, it immediately is like, bung, bung, right into it. I mean, they don't even buy you no lunch or nothing. They just get right into it. How many times a week do you go on a prison date? None. They ask all about your intimate life. They ask a lot of really personal questions. Really personal questions. What is your drive like on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being extreme. And we ain't talking about the drive, like no driving, no car. They're talking about that, they talk about your sex drive. They ask a lot of intimate questions. It's very embarrassing. But I'm trying to get this paperwork filled out, y'all. I really am. And again, it's like 10 pages. So I'm filling out this paperwork, trying to concentrate, probably telling a few lies on this paperwork. I'm not even going to sit here in front. I was probably telling a few lies. But neither here nor there, as I'm diligently paying attention to this paperwork, I can hear the door opening from time to time, and I'm not paying this no mind because I'm just trying to hurry up and fill out this embarrassing paperwork. But when I finally look up, I notice that I'm no longer alone in this lobby, this reception area, this waiting room. I'm no longer alone. In fact, there's a guy sitting over here, and there's a guy sitting directly in front of me. And in fact, as soon as I look up from the paperwork, I'm making eye contact with this guy sitting across the room from me, just looking at me. Wow, this is awkward. I immediately look over here and I'm making eye contact with this guy. This is super awkward. But I bring this up because, it was as I made contact with that first guy and as I made eye contact with that second guy, I realized that it was like a triangulation, like a Bermuda Triangle of ESP in that very moment right there. It was like all at once. Eye contact here, contact made over here, and then the triangulation, is that even a word? The triangulation, I know I'm probably not saying that correctly, was made right then and there. And what that triangulation was that we all knew we were in there for the same damn thing. And do you know how embarrassing, degrading, uncomfortable that was? Eye contact, and then immediately my head. I just put my head down and just start shaking. And I don't know because my head was down, but I can only imagine that both those other fellas, they probably did the same thing. We're probably all sitting there shaking our heads, looking down, thinking that we're all like a man apart, broken men, inadequate, not working correctly. It was embarrassing. God. And we haven't even got to the good part yet. So, just from filling out that paperwork, embarrassment, scale of 1 to 10, 12. Eye contact with both of these guys who were in here that I didn't even notice they came in there because I was so busy filling out the paperwork. Eye contact and realization made with those two other fellas. Embarrassment from a level 1 to a level 10, 20. Because I'm no longer alone in this. Now I need to mention something else real quick as well. When I walked in here, I didn't have an After Prison Show shirt on. Thank God. However, I did have an After Prison Show hat on. And as soon as I walked in, I realized I had the hat on. I took the hat off and I covered it up immediately. Like, you ain't gonna be seeing what I do for real. From this meeting right here, we will never see each other again. Never. I almost wanted to be walking around in there like this. Like, you don't know. You don't know who I am. I needed a disguise. I wish I had one. I wish I had the Colin Kaepernick, the touch him 2 times Tommy wig on. Hey, I do not know who you guys are, and we will never see each other again. I don't know what you're in here for, but I can guarantee you, I am not in here for the same thing that you are in. No, I am not Joe from the After Prison. No, touch him 2 times. Not 1 time, not 3 times, but 2 times. Please get the away from me. And again, we haven't even gotten to the good part yet, and my embarrassment is, it's over the moon. Best way that I can word it. My embarrassment level was completely beyond anything that I had ever experienced before. And I've experienced some pretty embarrassing things, for real. But this needed to be done. And no matter how embarrassing this was for a very, very serious reason, because I needed to find out if I was a man apart. I needed to find out if I was broken. I just can't believe I'm telling y'all this story. Not everything is meant for YouTube, but we're already in it, so I guess I'll just tell you the rest. Filled out the paperwork. I took it up to the receptionist. She took the clipboard from me right there. Now, mind you, I got to throw this in here. I don't have insurance. So I had to pay cash for this. And I need to just go ahead and share with you how much this prison date cost. Because this was by far the most expensive prison date I'd ever been on in my life. And you know, it's crazy because they made me pay for this prior to me doing anything else. So in case I couldn't pay for this, they weren't going to find out about that later. They weren't going to find out about that later. They were going to make sure I had that money first and foremost before they was getting ready to do with me what they was getting ready to do with me. And by the way, this prison date cost $500. $500. That's a lot of damn money just for you to put them white boy Olympics up underneath a telescope and for you to be looking and seeing if I got me some swimmers or not. $500 though? Boy, y'all running a racket over here. And you know, forgive me, I am sweating bad. This one's definitely not easy to tell. I paid for it, filled out the paperwork, made eye contact and communication through ESP with the other two individuals who were in there, and then immediately, as soon as that credit card got approved, Mr. Guerrero, we will see you now. My God, that's all y'all was waiting for. You don't even care about these 10 pages of paperwork I filled out. You just wanted to make sure that card was going to get approved. And it did. And as soon as it did, I mean, no sooner did she pull that card out the machine, the other woman was right there. Mr. Guerrero, the doctor will see you now. The woman calls me back. I go into the doctor's office. And the doctor, I'm just gonna give you everything that I remember. So the doctor, really nice guy. He was like a Spanish-American dude. I could tell that just based upon his last name and his accent. And then there was a black nurse woman who was sitting there in the corner. She was like his assistant. I don't know. She was like handing him papers whenever he would ask for things. But she was in on this conversation as well. So they take me back into this office with this doctor and this nurse, or maybe they were both doctors. I don't know. But I'm in the office. Have a seat. I sit down and boy, I'm just so uncomfortable because I know we getting ready to talk about some very personal stuff. So the doctor starts talking to me and he asked about me. He says, you know, do you smoke? I said, I do. I've been cutting back and I've been doing good with that, y'all. Y'all know I've been trying to quit smoking. I've been smoking less than half a pack. I've been doing that for about 2 weeks now. And this is the entire reason why I've been trying to quit. No other reason. Except I need to be healthier so that I can hopefully have a family with my wife. All jokes aside, that's why I'm trying to quit smoking. The doctor's asking me 21 questions and he asked if I smoked. I told him, you know, the story with that. He asked if I drank. I told him I very rarely drink. He asked about anything else. I said I don't do nothing else. I just work. And then based on that assessment of that conversation right there, he said, okay, I'm going to list 4 things that we need to go over real quick. The first is most definitely the smoking. You need to stop that altogether. I got that. I knew even before coming in here, that's what you were going to say. He said the second one is your age. I'm trying to remember this. The second one is your age. He said, you're 35 years old. You're not that old, though. You're still young. Your wife, she's still young. You guys are okay. He's like, the third one, though, stress. I said, dude, I got a lot of stress in my life. My job, that online store that I run, or flipping burgers at Burger King, whatever I told this guy I did, I said, there's a lot of stress that comes from working as a cook in McDonald's. You got to make sure them fries, they up when the timer goes up. Dude, I got a lot of stress in my life. Now, I mentioned the ethnic background of the doctor and also the nurse for where we're going with this. There was a reason I did that. I'm not like some kind of closet racist or nothing. There's a reason. Because when the doctor got to the stress factor, he said he said this to me. He said, you know, stress is a crazy thing. You got to learn how to deal with stress. He says, do you know who impresses me so much, who I'm so impressed by, who handles stress so well? And when he's saying this to me, I'm just thinking you could tell me anybody. You could tell me the Terminator. You could tell me Rambo. Rambo dealt with some stress and he seemed to deal with it pretty good. I have no idea who you're getting ready to tell me that you're impressed by. And he says to me, Donald Trump. When he says this name, the president's name, when he says this, the nurse woman, she goes like this. She goes, I'm looking at the doctor praising Mr. Trump, President Trump. I'm also looking at the nurse who is in absolute shock. And I just start laughing. I'm like, I don't know why I found this funny. I just thought it was funny because, you know, so many people think so badly of this guy. And I've got no political view. I just know a lot of people don't like this guy. And I was completely caught off guard when this doctor said that's who he was impressed with, who handles stress really well. And, you know, he's giving me all of these life tips and all of this good information. And I said to this guy, I said, you know, do you do any kind of therapy on the couch sessions at all? Because, you know, I'll come see you for that as well. Because this guy was good. He definitely had a lot of good information that he was giving to me. And I felt like, you know, this was okay. I felt like everything was going all right. I don't know how else to explain this part of it. The fourth thing, I can't remember what that was. I can't remember. He did this little assessment, this little consultation, and he says, hey, are you ready to provide a sample right now? Wow. We got to this part real quick. You know, I don't know what I was expecting walking in here. I knew I was going to have to do this, but man, we're here right now, and you're asking me if I'm ready to do this. So I just said, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it! I'm ready. Let's do this thing. Done this plenty of times while locked up. Let's do this. But doing that while locked up, going on a prison date, and then doing that in a doctor's office, in a setting where there's no easy way to explain this. It was like pressure to perform. Boy, this was, I wanted to get it over with. So I said, yes, I'm ready. So I said, great, let's do this. We're going to do this right now. The next thing I remember, because I feel like I blacked out just a little bit from the embarrassment and the anxiety of this situation was I was standing down the hall. I don't know if I teleported there, if they drugged me over there or whatever, but when I came to realization, I was down the hall a little bit further from his office, and I was standing in front of this other woman who was the same woman who called me back the first time to walk me to this doctor's office with the nurse in there. So I'm standing down the hall, and she opens the door to what might as well be a closet. I want to explain this room to you guys a little bit. So she opens the door, and it's a very small room, no bigger than a closet. There's a sink, there's a mirror, there's some hand soap there, there's no toilet whatsoever, and then there's a chair, and there's a picture on the wall. I'll never forget this. You know, if I had ever been any kind of like abducted or assaulted, at least I can remember the details. Because that's what I felt like. When I left from here, I felt violated. But the chair will forever stick out in my memory, y'all, because the chair, I guess, is where they expected you to do the do. Because what was in the chair was like that medical paper that they put down with the tape on the sides, whatever. There was that medical paper pad thing right there in the seat of the chair. And I was like, wow, this is where it goes down. I wonder how many people have come before me. Whew. It's a small little room. Is the air in it? Is the air on in here? Because it is hot. If I'm bombing with this, just bear with me. This is legitimately, I'm still dealing with the trauma and shock from this situation. They say, and on the counter where the sink was at and the soap dispenser was at right there, there was the little specimen cup. It looks just like a drug test cup. It looked just like it. So the woman says to me, she says, okay, you're going to go up in here. There's a cup right there. There's a chair right there. There's a picture on the wall if you want to look at that. I'm going to be right here. Closet's right here. Her office is literally right here. Okay, so the door to the closet's right here, and they're right next to each other. There's only one wall that separates where I'm going to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing and where she's going to be sitting at waiting for me to get done. No pressure, no pressure. I said, okay. She says to me, good luck. Good luck. Oh my God. Now you're really making me feel uncomfortable because now that good luck, that ain't good luck that you just said to me. That good luck, I dissected this. Good luck means she hopes that I'm able to do what I'm supposed to do so we can hurry up and get this awkward encounter over with. Good luck. She's saying this to me because there's a chance that she thinks I might not be able to do this. I have got to do this. Thank you very much for that good luck. I will see you in just 1 minute. I shut the door, I lock the door, I make sure the door is locked, and then I just stand there like a statue. And I look at the chair with the pad on the chair, and I look at the sink with the soap dispenser right there, and I look at the cup. And I look at the picture on the wall a little bit, and I just think, I'm like, God, I got to get this over with. I'm not going to go into any details about this part right here. We're going to be very evasive and elusive when it comes to this part right here, because y'all don't want to hear about this. Y'all don't want to hear about this. I am in the midst of the do. I'm in the midst of the deed that needs to be performed. And as I'm in the midst of this thing, it's not easy. You know, when I was locked up, it was just like, hey, back shower, you good? All right, hey, let me get that next. Put the mop handle down, put the trash can or the shoes in front of the shower. You know what I'm doing back there. But this is different. This is different because we're not locked up anymore. And what makes this so bad, you know, when you're locked up, you just get used to that. But I ain't done that in so long, I can't get jiggy with this at all. Because I'm thinking to myself, and I usually tend to overthink everything, but I'm thinking to myself right now, I'm like, everybody, every doctor, every patient, every receptionist, the woman next door waiting, everybody knows what I'm in here doing. They know I'm in here going on a prison date. And then not only that, you know, not only with the thought of everybody knowing that's what I'm in there doing, there was one thing that made it even worse, and that was That door, it wasn't like no vault. It wasn't like no soundproof studio, no booth like, where MGK was in there murdering Eminem. It wasn't that at all. It was just a regular door, and I could hear everything that was going on the other side of that door. How was I supposed to concentrate? This made it almost impossible. And I'm paying attention to the conversations. I'm not paying attention to the picture on the wall or that seat that I'm supposed to be sitting in with that medical paper right there on it. I'm paying attention to the conversations going on outside. Were they talking about golf and how much under par that they wore last weekend? And I'm thinking about my stroke. I'm trying to think about my stroke. This made it virtually impossible, folks. It made it virtually impossible. And I'm also thinking, I failed to mention this, and I need to throw this in here as well. When I first walked in that door, shut that door, locked that door, made sure it was locked, double checked, triple checked, made sure that door was locked. When I stood there, before I did anything, I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm one of those guys in a moment just like this. I ain't never think in a million years I would be standing in a closet having to do what I'm getting ready to do. But I was, and I did, and after... It probably took, I don't even want to tell you how long it took me, but I got done, okay? I got done. And then I had to walk out with this cup handed to this woman, and that was so awkward. That was the most... There you go. Here's my white boy Olympics specimen. I'm done. I handed it to her. She put it in like this incubator thing, and that was the last that I saw of it, and then, that was it. I was free to go. And I left. And as I left, I walked through the door. I'm back in the lobby. Patient B and Patient C, they're still sitting in there. I think they were playing that Stone Temple Pilots song, Half the Man I Used to Be, over the intercom. I don't know. That's what it felt like. I'm so embarrassed and I just feel so weird that as I'm walking out, I don't even know what to do. I don't know if I should be saying goodbye. I waved to the receptionist. Hey, thank you, goodbye. And I walked out. And when I walked out, there was this moment of relief. I felt so good to just be out of there, to be done with it. I was super stressed out because now I was like, oh my God, they've got this. So I know within a matter of an hour or 2 hours, I'm going to get a phone call and it's either going to be a yay or a nay. So now I'm like super stressed out. Cody was waiting down in the parking lot. He drove me there. I got in the car. Cody asked me how it went. I said, don't talk to me right now, Cody. Don't say nothing. Nothing. I'm telling y'all, I felt violated. And I ain't talking about no probation violation either. I felt like something bad had just happened to me. And what's crazy is that after all that happened, after all that went down, I had to come back here and film a video. I had to sit in this chair and try to act like everything was okay. So if you noticed anything in yesterday's video where I was like a little out of it, well, that's probably why. If you did notice that. If you felt like I was a little off in that video, and if you feel like I'm a little off in this video, well, that's because I'm talking about it. So now I'm reliving this traumatic moment. But nevertheless, I did it. I got it done. And then like an hour later, 2 hours later, they called me and they told me the results. And those results came back that I was absolutely 100% okay. In fact, they told me I was more than okay. So, with as broken and as half of a man as I was feeling like, a man apart, as inadequate of a human being as I was feeling yesterday leading up to all of that, waiting on those results, for them to give me that phone call and tell me that, Joe, boy, I can't believe you ain't got 20 kids right now. You can't tell me nothing right now. You can't tell me nothing. So I'm okay. My wife's okay. I guess it's just a matter of, when the stars align in the universe and, eventually it's going to happen. But boy, it sure took a lot to get to where I am right now. I just wanted to share that story with you. Maybe there's somebody out there that can relate to this. I hope there's not. I don't know anybody else who's gone through this prior to myself. And everybody knew I had to do this. Everybody that I talked to was like, hey, Joe, you got that appointment coming up, don't you? What you gonna be looking at? Because I know a lot of y'all probably wondering that too. Did they give you a magazine? My wife asked me about it. We were trying to have a conversation last night. I was still a little bit like a sheltered animal. But I finally broke out of the shell a little bit. And she asked me, as pretty much everybody else has asked me, did you have a magazine? Did they provide you any kind of material? No. Just a picture on the wall. Did you look at anything on your phone? Not at all. Not at all, baby. All I did was I thought about you. My imagination, boy, something else I'm trying to tell you. I had to, my imagination, that came into play quite a few times while I was locked up. So that was the only thing that I was able to easily get back to. in relation to this situation, in relation to like going on a prison date while locked up versus going on a prison date out here in the free world. In fact, that sounds like a pretty damn good idea for a title for this video. Prison date versus prison date out in the free world. So for any of you who might have been concerned thinking that, I had to go to the doctor for the ligma or for any other reasons, that wasn't the case at all. It was because of the test. I had to get my swimmers checked out and make sure that they were swimming. And I'm good to go. And I feel great, just a little embarrassed. And I just want to share that story with you guys. I hope that you're not cringed out to the max. And I hope some kind of a way you got a laugh and some enjoyment out of this. Because had it turned out any other way, oh, believe me, this video would have been filmed in an entirely different manner. Violin music, crazy looking sad thumbnail, and as much as I'm laughing and joking about that, that's probably something I shouldn't be joking about. I'm glad and I'm fortunate and I'm humbled knowing that I am okay. So I will wrap this up on a serious note. I went on a prison date yesterday, and it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because I had to. And I never in my life ever imagined that I would ever have to go on a prison date because I have to. Crazy to think about. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video some kind of a way. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about all of this. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace! My God, that was embarrassing.